This is the MOONDROP EVO. It's a set of true wireless style Bluetooth 5.2 earhooks that connect to your IEMs, AAC, SBC, AptX, AptX Adaptive, AptX HD, and AptX TWS Plus are all listed as compatible codecs. Couldn't find any information on what aptX TWS Plus was, but whatever. Instead of using the Bluetooth chip to handle the digital to analog conversion, each earhook sports an ES9318 DAC, which is interesting. So should be kind of an improvement in sound there. 2-pin universal fit, and we'll take a real good look at how the connector fits with different IEMs. And the battery life, as listed on the website, I found 2 things: 3 times of the battery capacity, or charge time about 2 hours. It took me a long time to find the actual ratings of the batteries, but it is printed very small on the back of the charging base that's inside the case. You got to pull the charging base out of the case and read the back of it to find out that you've got a 120 milliamp hour battery in each earhook, and the case has a 1050 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty good, unless they mean that the 128 milliamp hours for the earphones, as they put it, is combined, and then it's only 60 milliamp hours per hook, and that's just okay. But I'm sure they're going to draw more power than other devices that just lean on the Bluetooth chip for decoding, since you've got the DAC in it as well. And the price is about 90 bucks. Normally I don't do unboxings, but this is MOONDROP, so we've got this beautiful packaging that we've unfortunately paid extra for in the price of the product. And here are some of the specs on the back of the box, as mentioned earlier. Whatever this IEM they've drawn on the box that she's wearing, it looks totally awesome. I would totally buy that if it existed. And here is the really nice but totally not cheap inner box. Pretty cool. Open it up, and here we've got the case for the MOONDROP EVO. Hole on the bottom, I'll explain what that's for in a minute. Very fancy. Well done. And you've got some paperwork in here, including a QC card, a QR code card. I don't know where that goes. You can scan that if you want and see where it takes you. And we also get a fairly comprehensive manual here, which shows you how to set up and use and operate the earhooks. And a little USB-C to USB-A charging cable, pretty short. And that's it. Let's have a look. USB-C charge port on the back. Not bad. Hole on the bottom. We'll get to that in a moment. And pretty thick and bulky case. Has this kind of nice design going on. Heavy duty zipper. And here are the earhooks in their charging base. And this case is, it doesn't really want to stay open, but I guess that's okay. And they've got this gray foam block here to help, I guess, press on the earhooks so they stay charging while they're in the case. Nice, but big problem here. And here's a set of AirPods. The case is humongous, right? It's too big. Look at compared to AirPods, how big this case is. You can't really put it in your pocket. And here's the hole on the bottom. And what that allows you to do is push the charging base out of the case. And you can see it's pretty tight in there. Like the corners of the case kind of squeeze on the corners of the charging base. So it's a little bit tricky to get out. I wish it was a little bit easier. Here's that block I was talking about that's meant to stick down on to push down on the earhooks so they stay kind of charging and they stay in place better. That solves a problem I have with some of the other earhooks from other companies. And this is pretty neat. This is very lightweight. You got your USB-C port there, some specs on the back here, EVO logo. And these are magnetic. Got a little button here that you can press. It'll show you how much charge the charging base has remaining. 4 lights. And let's take a close look at the earhooks here. These look really great. Like, these are really nice looking. I don't know if the white and gray color is my favorite, but they look cool. There's your 2 charging contacts and the 2 microphone holes on the back. This is what the microphones on the MOONDROP EVO Bluetooth earhooks sound like. This is using both earhooks together at the same time, so all the microphones should be active. Yeah, there's a right indicator and a left indicator on each earhook. Materials seem very nice. Good looking earhooks. The bottom portion is a little bit thick and wide, but the 2-pin connector looks like it's really going to be perfect for fitting most IEMs, and that's going to be the first thing that we're going to check out because that's super important. So here's the Tin Hi-Fi C2, very recessed socket here, so always use this as the benchmark, and really good fit. Little tiny bit of a wobble, but that's normal because of how deep this is, but that looks really good. Perfect. Good job, Moondrop. I'm not surprised because, Moondrop IEMs typically have this kind of fit. So, of course, the earhooks that they make are going to be designed in this way. Awesome. Yeah, doesn't look bad with that. Actually, nice match. And we'll stick these back on the case with the IEMs on to see how it does. And you can see how having the IEMs in this orientation really kind of makes a lot of sense in terms of letting everything fit nicely. And there is a little bit of an indication when you stick these things on the charger. You'll see the bottom kind of glows. That's coming from the LED that's on the outside of the ear hook, which is face down. It's easy to see, but just so you can see it on camera, I kind of dim the lights here. So yeah, solid indicator that everything is charging, so that's good. Yeah, really nice way to do this. For control, you've got these, you can touch on these 2 flat areas on the outside of the ear hook, and I'm guessing that's part of the reason why Moondrop made this area so big, because it's pretty big and it's also pretty wide, and it really wants to stick out from behind your ear. Here you can see in comparison to the KZ-AZ09 Pro, and this area of the ear hook is way smaller on the KZ, or way bigger on the Moondrop. It's a little bit thicker, but much longer and wider overall. Makes it tricky to fit the EVO behind your ear. It kind of wants to stick out. And you can see how it's very stiff also on the ear hook here, which is not horrible, but again, between the stiff ear hook and the big base area, it can be tricky to kind of keep it behind your ear. And we'll try on one of Moondrop's own IEMs here. This is the May. It's a nice look. The ear hooks themselves, like I said, they look and feel very premium. The connector here is perfect. Another nice match here with the white original Sound Notes Zeros. Pretty cool. So yeah, no problem plugging these hooks into just about any IEM. Here we've got Truth Ear Zero. A little bit of a mismatch on the color, but excellent fit. And I really like this look. This is the Sound Notes 02 in the transparent blue color. Looks really kind of futuristic. I like it. The other kind of simple improvement you get with this setup is that the right ear hook actually goes into the right side of the charging base, which I guess not a big deal, but a little bit more convenient when you take these things out and stick them back in. And plenty of room here, and the IEMs don't interfere with the ability for the ear hooks to stay on the charging base at all, so that's great. A little bit of room, extra room here though. I don't know why it can't be a little bit of a closer fit here where this is, I guess, leads to the possibility of having the charging contacts misaligned. Magnets are pretty strong, so you can turn this thing upside down or on its side, and the IEMs and ear hooks won't fall out. If you shake them, they'll fall out, but pretty good magnets, so that's good. And I really like that you can take this charging base out of the case, so I'll probably just leave these sitting on my desk. And there is a white and red LED in each ear hook, but the LED is behind the plastic shell, so it kind of shines through the shell. I think that's a neat look. And even with larger IEMs like the Truth Ear Zero, you can see no problem with fitting back in the charging base with the IEMs attached. The shape of the ear hooks is a little bit aggressive, and they're a little bit stiff, at least at first. So some IEMs, that's fine. Other IEMs, you know, not as great. It really is going to depend on kind of like your ear shape. Yeah, the really thick kind of bottom portion doesn't help with that either. But in most cases, they seem to fit okay. So Moondrop has solved like some of the problems I've had with other ear hook designs here, but unfortunately, while these ear hooks, you know, fit great, and I like the design of the charging case and the orientation of the ear hooks and the IEMs, the case is really too big to be portable. So that's kind of thing number one. Thing number two is the functionality of the touch areas, and you're supposed to be able to press once for like play pause and twice on the right one to skip ahead a track, twice on the left one to go back a track, and then 3 times to invoke your digital assistant. It's super unreliable. The single touch, you've got to kind of hold it for a while, and then you hear a faint kind of ding or beep to give you some feedback that you pressed it. But other than that, you get no feedback, and it's not obvious if you're supposed to like tap or touch, or it's very wonky to use. I'd kind of prefer if it was just a button, but that's not the end of the world, because obviously you can always control your track skipping and your pause, whatever, from your device. So as far as performance goes, forgetting about obviously that you're gonna get reduced sound quality because it's a Bluetooth, these make my IEMs sound like my IEMs normally sound. Some of the other Bluetooth ear hooks tend to change the sound or do something to it. So I guess the inclusion of using a DAC alongside of the Bluetooth chip definitely works, because I can definitely kind of, my IEMs sound like more like they would on a wired connection, and not in terms of like the resolution, but just in terms of the character or the sound profile of the IEM, it sounds correct. However, there is kind of one big problem that seems to come up quite often. And so when you first put the ear hooks in, whichever one you lift off the charging base first is like kind of, I guess, the master one, and it syncs the audio back to the other one. So what'll happen is I'll get dropouts and cutouts on the one side that I've put in second, and I guess it's some kind of interference, or maybe it's a dropout of like the sync clock. I don't really know what causes it. If you like have your phone or your device, your DAP, whatever, kind of like in your pocket or sitting on the table, and you're sitting and you're relatively still and the device is locked, it happens a lot less often. But if you go to use your device while you're listening, or even if you just like turn your head, or maybe if there's another Bluetooth device nearby, it might be causing interference. Yeah, like in situations definitely where you're using the phone or you're moving around a lot, it gets a lot worse. The dropout in the one ear will last for like a second or two in most cases, sometimes a little bit longer, and then it sounds like everything syncs back up and it's okay. It can be annoying depending on how often it's happening based on what you're doing. I've had situations where it happens like once every minute or two. That's super annoying. Then I've had situations where I'll listen to it for 20 minutes and it won't happen. You know, at $90, like that's kind of a basic thing that shouldn't happen on a modern day Bluetooth device. And I honestly think it's going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people if they experience it. I'm kind of willing to live with it because of a lot of other things I like about this product. And hopefully they'll come up with some kind of way to push a firmware update or something like that, and they can fix the issue. But it's definitely annoying enough that it's hard for me to just flat out recommend these. It's a big enough problem. So hopefully to get that taken care of in the future. If that's not something that you feel is going to bother you or you're willing to live with, then I'll say, okay, you know, give these a shot. They sound pretty nice. The battery life is so-so. I mean, it's okay. It's not great. The Bluetooth range is just kind of mediocre. They don't have a ton of power. I mean, they kind of just are loud enough to drive most IEMs. I have a couple of IEMs where I'm maxing out the volume. So, I mean, that's passable, but it's not wonderful. It's just a shame that it's got, you know, it's solved a number of things in terms of its design, but unfortunately, it's also kind of failed in a couple other key areas. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee from the link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a good one. Later.